it's Papa G, and I thought today I might show you some new packaging I'm doing for my High John the Conqueror roots. So everyone knows I'm a sucker for interesting packaging. I think that when people receive a product, they should feel like they're receiving a little gift, something that someone put a lot of time into, something that you can't find anywhere else. So I came up with this design of High John as a king figure, and you may notice he is of African descent, although I did place a more medieval type crown on him. You will find in many botanicas the manufactured candles of High John the Conqueror. It wouldn't be a root, but the candle itself, High John the Conqueror, it does look like more like a King Arthur figure. To me, he almost looks like Moses with a crown on, and this isn't really how he is often depicted or thought of for those who use High John the Conqueror root. You know, John the Conqueror is actually, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it is a root called jalapa root, which has beautiful pink flowers. It is related to the morning glory. I'm thinking about planting some because it is hard to find. You're not going to find High John out in the wild too often. It will grow in the southern region of the Americas and often come back in the spring. But in African American hoodoo, practitioners do place High John the Conqueror roots inside mojo bags. It can be for protection, empowerment, often good luck. Some people use it for protection from evil, and it can be for victory. Now, some people say it is good to represent masculinity as well, or if you need to empower yourself with what is considered to be masculine energy to give you an upper hand over someone else. Now the figure, we're getting back to the African descended man with the crown on his head. Sometimes John is considered to be an African prince. Supposedly he was the son of a king of Congo, and mythologically he says to have ridden a giant crow, which was called Old Familiar. He was supposedly sold as a slave in the Americas, but despite being enslaved, his spirit was never broken. He was also considered to be something of a trickster figure, which would be similar in alignment to Elegua. You can find him in a lot of the writings by Zora Neale Hurston, and she often describes him as someone who was empowered, and sort of a king-like figure in the way that he presented himself. She compared him to King Arthur of England in the way that he had served his people. Also, it is said, according to folklore, that he placed his soul inside a specific plant, which would be the jalapa plant. And if you possess that root, you can summon his spirit anytime you need it. As you can see with the packaging, I'm actually have got these little red bags, and the smaller High Johns fit in them. Now they can get as large as your fist. I have several specimens myself on my altars that are large like that. These are the ones I sell on my folkmagicstudio.com website. And I like these little envelopes because red is considered to be my signature color. You'll find that in many of the products that I put out. A lot of the packaging, red is my favorite color. And then you'll notice I'm putting these little stickers on the back just to make sure the envelope doesn't open. They are tarot related stickers. It really doesn't have anything to do with High John. It's simply that is the sticker I wanted to use to give it a little bit more of a mystical element. Now, the organza bags, these you won't find on my website. I'm creating this particular batch to be included in one of the mystery boxes that I'm creating. So this little organza bag with the star and the moon, the suns on them, that's just to give it a little bit of an extra gift look inside of a mystery box. You notice I always try to pull out the better pieces for the customers. And you'll see I put the longer piece to the side. That is because I also create High John the Conqueror necklaces. And I like to take the longer pieces to create those, the ones with that point downwards. Because what I do is take polymer clay and build it up around the top of that pointed High John the Conqueror root. And then when I have the clay built up, I will then go in and bevel it to sort of mimic the texture of the High John root itself. And then place a hole in the center for a necklace. And then what I do is actually go back with UV resin and paint it with UV resin and then put it under the light to dry so that it becomes very hard and it won't break. It should last a long time. I guess I did skip a step. Before their UV resin, I do bake. Make sure to bake the polymer clay so it's nice and hard, and then paint it with resin and put it on a nice big silver loop. Maybe one day I'll make a video showing how I make the High John necklaces. Maybe. I can't give away all of my secrets here when we're crafting together. So I'm making 14 of these. Now when I make these videos talking about elements I'm going to put in mystery boxes, my boxes are going to be a mystery. I can't guarantee that this particular product will be in the next box that coincides with when I made this video. As you can see, this type of packaging does take a lot longer than simply slipping the root down into, say, a 3x3 plastic bag. But I think that's what gives it something special. If you put special effort into your packaging of your products, people can feel the energy, they can feel the time that you spent to do that, to give them something extra, to show them how much you cared about what you were selling to them, presenting to them, gifting to them. I think this type of packaging makes people excited when they receive the things. Like I said, like a little gift.